Sort of in the middle of discussing ratzon. We are still on the line that begins with the word hagiluim. Just a few lines above the middle of the page Nun Zayin. Ratzon is the initiator for absolutely every function of the human being. In the ratzon, it is, as we said, in the initiation state. He does not really understand the sechel that he is going to, that the ratzon encourages him and entices him to understand. On the one hand, he doesn't really understand it. On the other hand, he more than understands it. Like if one would say, there is what to understand here. That is a deeper statement than the understanding itself. Because this statement, there is what to understand here, is rooted in recognizing that there is a profound truth in this, an essential truth. And it behooves you to understand it.
So you said ratzon is the initiator of every function?
Yeah. Right. Like we spoke yesterday at the end, the earth is like the ratzon for the entire world, essentially. But to start with, for all plants, everything that grows from the earth, and we need to focus in and understand, contrary to the way it is presented from a physical and from a scientific perspective, that the plant is what draws its chayes from the earth. It's the earth that provides the chayes for the plant. The earth recognizes this particular plant and gives it its chayes. The way Chassidus explains it, Alter Rebbe says clearly that you put a seed into the ground, and the seed disintegrates into the ground. That arouses in the earth, in the koach haratzon, in the koach hachemeach, in the earth, this particular plant, which was initially much deeper and essential level. And now it is aroused and it's identified, and the earth begins to produce that particular plant as a result of this arousal. Okay, so at that level, in the ratzon level, and in the koyach hatzimeach, this is our own comparison, which is a correct comparison, it says, there is not an identity for the particular koyach, but there is a recognition of a deeper element which would be expressed through this koyach. This is the way it is ratzon. And ratzon encourages that to be developed and then ultimately come in begilui. Hare iker hamokim hagiluim. V'ikir ha-hischatshus. Hu beharotzon. Everybody has a place. V'ikir ha-hischatshus hu beharotzon. The principle hischatshus. Hischatshus means novelty. Novelty means like feeling, understanding, walking, talking. This is all hischatshus. It is in the ratzon. Where is the principle of walking first identified? In the ratzon. Speak about this very often, about the child that develops as time goes on. It is in the ratzon that he identifies with the whole phenomenon of standing up and walking. V'yachar kach, and afterwards, hu mehelem al hagilu levad. Then, what happens afterwards, and in the developmental process, it is mehelem al hagilu. He draws it from a helem state, from an unidentifiable state, al hagilu to an identifiable state and a full identity. But the principle itself is being created at that level. This is an extremely important principle, because this explains to us how is it that a person can learn to do all kinds of different things that he has to learn afresh. And I would say certainly he wasn't born with this knowledge. So he learns how to do it. That's not a big deal. The big deal is that he learns how to do it and he feels perfectly comfortable with it. He doesn't feel like he is acting externally. He is fully into it himself. How can it be? It is only due to the fact that in his Koyach this inyan already pre-exists. Coming back, I said that our learning is also partly from bringing, but this is geared to understand this inyan. We know the klal that when you teach a child, the child has to be able to relate to what you're teaching him. And if you teach him beyond that which he can relate, he can do it perfectly, but he is left behind. And the result of that is not very pleasant. In teaching a child, one must recognize that this child is an intelligent child, and he has connection to the entire reality, no less than the teacher himself. Maybe even more, because he's not been going to any direction. He's still at that overall general level. But the point is that he has a shaykhs to it, and it is our job to get him to identify with it, not to teach him, not to train him, like we say. A dog you train, a human being, a child you don't train. This is mitzad koyach ratzon. Everything is initially recognized in the koyach ratzon. What is, like we said, walking have to do with ratzon, with life, or learning for that matter, speaking? What do all these functions have to do with living? With the ratzon hanefesh. The answer is, anybody wants to volunteer?
It's all part of life.
Huh?
It's all part of life.
What does it mean?
That the nefesh is, that contains its all within it, and the ratzon is that what kind of identifies it, like more on the outside. I mean, towards the outside. That
How is walking part of life for the nefesh?
being everywhere, it's everywhere. Like it's out of, like it's there's no place that it's not.
Okay. Being everywhere is already identifying this b'mokim uzman. Nefesh doesn't know of where. Nefesh doesn't know of b'mokim uzman.
What's that? Because everything has to be processed and it's chacham at first. And the roots of the activate of chacham.
That's correct. I'm asking where is that? We're saying everything originates in the ratzon, and everything comes from there, and he fully orients with it, he relates with it. I'm asking. You said it becomes part of life. Very good. Now we have to go to the essence. How is it part of life? What does life have to do with activity? Again, because superficially, the reason we go to work is because we're hungry. Now it's because there are things in life that demand it. We don't initiate it. The pasuk says, "Tizer Hashem, Tizer Hashemesh Yosefin." The sun rises Yosefin, and the beasts all hide away. Yetzei Odom l'folei l'avidosei ad yorav. And then man goes out l'folei to his work, l'avidosei ad yorav, to his work to the evening. What is it that gets the Odom out? L'folei avidosei ad yorav.
Shul.
Huh?
Learning Torah and davening.
Yeah, but so what's in this? Why does it? Why does it? Where is the in ratzon? I'm trying to say. We mustn't confuse the two. The person does not know something, and his curiosity is aroused, and he wants to find out. That's not the initial ratzon.
I guess the explanation is like we said within the nefesh is the etzem, essential reality, which is all contained in it. On a ratzon level, the reality is that it's everywhere. That the reality, I don't mean everywhere geographically. I'm saying it's whatever was contained within the nefesh is now recognized by ratzon, so to say, outside of the nefesh. Like in every.
So this is, that's what you said. Yes, I want to understand. I want to know why is nefesh everything?
It's truth. It's like elokus.
So it's not elokus. What does it have to do with knowing how to walk?
Because it's also elokus. Like I mean, it's the.
But the nefesh in Gan Eden knows about walking. So what does it have to do with it, with walking?
That's the ratzon, that to relate to world.
Do it again, Fleming. What?
That's the ratzon, to relate to world. That the nefesh should come out and live in a worldly manner.
Why does the nefesh want to relate to the world?
Because that's the kavuna, it should come down here.
That's it. The nefesh is mislavish in the guf with a function, with a mission. That is a nefesh. Nefesh is in the guf in an active state. Oh, that's me. It wants everything because everything belongs to him. Everything is part of his mission. The mission is to bring nefesh, to bring godly life to everything. That's the real mission. And then you have the nefesh abahamis, where it kind of interprets it a little bit differently, maybe a lot differently, but essentially. Nefesh Abahamis also lives, so to speak, in the reality of the world. Because this is the meaning of it being here. Yes, sir.
What does it mean, walking in Gan Eden?
I said there is no walking.
No, there's an expression like that in many places.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, so this is shot that the year is chachus is in the ratzon. The ratzon ratzon represents or reveals or actively brings out what the nefesh is all about. And what is it about? About everything. Because in every aspect of its life, and everything that it touches, it wants to bring the nefesh element, the godly element, with the nefesh olikis, and permeate it. Everything is his business. And then, therefore, then when it comes down to functioning level, it is only drawing the helm al hagiluim. Not creating it again. As for example, when a person does something, clearly it's imperative that first there should be an arousal of ratzon. Arousal of ratzon means there is ratzon, there is an integral ratzon, an essential ratzon. But then the arousal of ratzon means that he actually recognizes he's pursuing it in his ratzon. V'ahakach, and afterwards above the sechel. Then only afterwards does it come down into sechel. Shemechayev as dvar ritzoinoi. Shemechayev as dvar ritzoinoi. What's mechayev as dvar ritzoinoi mean? The sechel explains and says, yes, this is imperative. That's mean mechayev. This must be. Mechayev is what it's saying. The sechel definitely is mechayev that a person should provide for his family all their needs. But that's not the original inspiration for it. The inspiration for it is in the ratzon. Then he comes into sechel. Shemechayev was no. Now, in the ratzon, there is the will that there should be complete and perfect satisfaction of the needs and the will of his family. The ratzon doesn't say, "I want to go to work." The ratzon says, "No, I want that they should have everything they need." This is the ratzon. And then the sechel, his mechayev says, "Hey, this is absolutely necessary. This is what must be done." That's where mechayev is a ratzon. Mechayev means, in ratzon, this is an imperative. It is an essential reality. In sechel, that becomes a functional element. Based on the ratzon, the sechel conforms it or confirms it on a practical level.
Sechel and walking and all that's not his chadshus, right? I mean, that's his chadshus is in ratzon.
Everything is chadshus in ratzon.
And then this is a revelation of what's in ratzon, which is okay.
Sechel is mechayev. It sounds to us like the sechel is what initiated it and proved that this is right. It's not true. Sechel, whatever the sechel is mechayev, it's on the basis of the ratzon. I have to support my family. Of course. Of course. Is it of course that if you don't support the family will run away from you? They'll be angry at you? They'll take you to court? I mean, what does it mean, of course? Of course it means that the essential ratzon it has to be.
Is it correct to say that the ratzon is like the goal where you want to come to, and the sechel leads you the way how to get that goal, how to accomplish that?
Well, this is ratzon is much more than the goal. On the contrary, the goal is identified by sechel. How do you get that? I have to have X number of dollars. Ratzon is not the goal. Ratzon provides the meaning of it, the essential inspiration. It's an amazing thing. The sechel is mechayev. Mechayev means mechayev. I don't know how to translate it in English. Mechayev means
substantiates.
substantiates is verifies. Mechayev means it actually forces the inyan, says, yes, you must do this. That's mechayev. But on what basis that the sechel says mechayev? Because he already has the ratzon. As a human being, the sechel is mechayev. You must do this. And once it's mechayev, then everything else comes into play. Sechel forces the midas and so forth. Ve'eich, and then also how, u'be'eza eifun sheyi. What is the manner in which this inyan should be executed? And then finally, through the sechel, it comes in the midas shebelev. Here is a clear manifestation. Okay, so that will finish tomorrow, but I just want to say, clear manifestation. The fact that it comes from midas shebelev. Midas are not sechel, like sechel. Sechel gives reasoning and proves things. Michal doesn't have that. Midas just says midas is like ratzon on a lower level, in the essential, in the functioning of human being. So if it comes with midas shebelev, means that he senses this is the reality.
Midas are like ratzon inside the functioning human being.
Right.
What was the role of sechel then?
Sechel puts it in context. Says, yes, this is the right thing to do. Midas is a more sechel translates the ratzon, and midas is actually a reflection of this ratzon. Because it's the right thing to do, I want to do it. This is already on a different level.
In other words, it's like active power, you're saying.
I'm sorry?
It's active power.
Yeah. Midas is a real force in the action itself.
Highest, yeah, highest.
Yeah. Midas is the real force in the action itself. Ad asiyah bepeil, until it reaches asiyah bepeil, action, asiyah doing it bepeil in an active manner. This is the most phenomenal principle. Asiyah bepeil is an amazing thing. Like I said, I want a table. I can relate to a table. It was a good thing. It would be wonderful. Okay, and then I'm going to skip many different steps. Just the pale mamish. The table is a separate entity from me. I take a piece of wood and I build a table, but I'm not involved at all. It stands on its own. That's what I see with pale. To be able to extend to a total dissociated entity and build it up and say, oh, this is where that ratzon is fulfilled. It's a real creation, more even than midas. This is it for this morning. If I go into this, but we get the point over here. And this all originates in the ratzon. Have a great day.
La